There was a period of time when drawing and painting were actually very out of fashion in terms of contemporary art production. It was part of a historical practice that no longer seemed very relevant. But that has moved around again, and there are multiple artists that are evidencing the excitement and this ongoing interest in that type of mark making. We do emphasize the concurrent development of technical skill, the acquisition of a comfort with materials, how you actually make marks, what the possibilities are of mark making.
I try to encourage more traditional painting material methods, oil, acrylic, watercolor, and so on. I also encourage them to think outside of the rectangle or outside of off the wall, and to think about the possibility of hybrid practices too. So what I'm showing students are not just painting practices of other artists, but art practices that will inform them conceptually, materially, and hopefully inspire their own individual practices as they develop. The concept that they want to develop can be through pictorial means, but it can also be through the choice of support or maybe a three-dimensional aspect to the work.
It's always in equal proportion to really trying to learn how to generate imagery that's meaningful to you. Generate not just imagery, but artifacts, objects.
I think the diversity and richness of it is the thing that's most attractive. It's a big enough program that you can search for and find instructors who are interested in what you're interested in.
There's no sort of home style, or there's no tendency within the university other than towards diversity.
We've got 16 or 17 part-time instructors, 6 or 7 full-time instructors. It's a lot of people, and virtually every tendency in contemporary painting is covered by this group in one way or another.
What we do also have in the drawing area, like in the painting area, that I think is also becoming very, very fashionable and very interesting, are these thematic courses. So they are of a 300, 400 level, but they don't bear a generic name. They bear a name like site, place, and landscape, narrative, time, and storytelling, pop culture, between the wall and the viewer. These are courses that are drawing or painting, and that were devised by individuals or committees, saying this is a hot issue, this is something that seems to be important right now.
I had the privilege to TA between the wall and the viewer, and that's really a specialized class for students that are really looking to expand upon what they might think of as their painting practice. You're not starting sort of an art historical perspective necessarily from way back when. Maybe you're starting it from pop or from minimalism. So it's really about contemporary practice and concerns.
The use of mechanical reproduction, photographs, and the computer is increasing in the work of painters. Where most painters kept sketchbooks and drew at one time, a great proportion of young painters now use digital photography fused with the computer to do their studies with.
What I do basically is I take photos of people that I know, usually friends, and I work on it on Photoshop. I change the image a lot. I process it, completely changing colors, composition, everything. So I use the photo as my source image, as like the first material, the raw material, and then I change it a lot, then I print it, and then I produce the final image on canvas. So basically my work is, in terms of technique, it's painting, but it's also photography. I couldn't say it's only painting because most of the creative part is done through computer and through photography. The painting, I render the final image with painting.
I read drawing quite broadly, and I see it as the link to interdisciplinarity. I still see it as the way that I can cross over in this area and bring people in, not as a mandatory foundation, but as a way of helping a student in their constructions and in their ideas.
Everybody's practice in the art world is totally plural. Drawers especially are never content just to stick drawings up. They always want to, draw on the walls, or have constructions, or have, video or animation, certainly animation.
In all of its arcane and dated fashion, it still is really actual, really current right now. To see the last 7 years of the renaissance that drawing has undergone in the contemporary art world right now, basically has validated all those kids who draw obsessively. So I'd say it's vital. It's a really vital area.
The handmade arts still continue to attract a great many people. Painting, drawing, sculpture, dance, the really body-involved, hand-produced, body-produced arts still have an enormous appeal for people.